subject matter of our discussion tonight is on ubiquitous computing. Today, we've got supercomputers in our pockets that are more powerful than the entire government of the United States of America's computers were in the 70s or 80s. My son, who's in 5th grade, has a computer more powerful than the entire United States did. Computers are everywhere, and computing power at some point will be virtually unlimited in your hand. I'll introduce our panel. Agosa from Echo VC.
My name is Agosa. I am venture capitalist. I have a firm based in Palo Alto.
Matt, go ahead and tell us what you're doing.
My background is about 15 years now in mobile data services for consumers. Way before the iPhone ever came on the scene.
Sunil from Bessemer.
I work at Bessemer Venture Partners, where I invest in consumer internet opportunities, a little bit of enterprise, and my firm more broadly invests in life sciences and clean tech opportunities as well.
What will be obsolete in 5 years because of ubiquitous computing? What will be obsolete in 10 years because of ubiquitous computing? How will we interface with machines? Will it be visual? Will it be verbal? Will it be touch? Is the keyboard going away? Will we use keyboards in 10 years?
There's a transition, I think, to a new field of user interaction and user experience that I call micro gestures. We've seen this, I think, to a very trivial degree with the Nintendo Wii, and we've seen it a little bit better formed with the Kinect. The ability to actually have either traditional cameras or stereoscopic cameras that can shoot in 3D. And now those actually just track what you're doing, and they can essentially input that, use that as an input. I think we're going to see more and more of that. Does the keyboard go away? Possibly. I still have my BlackBerry, so don't trust what I say.
It's exciting to try and predict the future. A year ago, I had my morning email routine, which was 45 minutes on a keyboard. Now that's 30 minutes in bed on my iPhone.
In bed.
It is. Certain elements, certain peripherals like the keyboard, mouse in large part is probably gone because we realize there's richer gestures you can have if you're a Mac person with 15 different ways you can swipe your fingers.
Disintermediation is going to be obsolete. We're going to start to see new types of interfaces eliminate, or disintermediate old types of interfaces. Siri, for instance, disintermediate keyboards. We're not directly reaching through and interacting with that, that content or that experience.
Deco is going to have a port in the back of your brain, like the Matrix. That's the goal.
We want the sensors to connect with the sensors.
At some point, we might be able to obsolete other media devices and other pieces of hardware. Any thoughts about what the future holds there?
Bandwidth is still a challenge. The network infrastructure that is currently available was deployed for a finite number of use cases, and I think probably didn't even contemplate some of the use cases that are available today. Everything now becomes both a transmitter and possibly, depending on the use case, a receiver. That generates data, and I think the network infrastructure that's in place today I don't think it's going to be able to take that. I've always wanted the ability to walk into a room and ask the devices to play the room back for me. Like what happened here the last 30 minutes. And
TiVo for your room.
Right.
TiVo for the
DVR,
party.
It's a DVR for real life.
I got offered an introduction to some rocket scientists. They were competing in one of the X Prizes to put a lunar lander on the moon. They were talking to us because we had the ability to do, take a stereoscopic camera, and this lander is going to have 2 HD cameras broadcasting real-time HD 3D video. We've got the ability to take those feeds and basically reconstruct in 3D the moon, and as that lander comes down. We'll now have enough mobile phones out there, enough carriers who are waking up to the fact that they are broadcast networks in some ways, to be able to take this experience and push it out. It might be delivered to an app, but you'll be able to sit there with your phone and literally pan around and see in 3D, live as this in HD, as the lunar lander comes down. It's almost a new medium. It's something that's post-TV. I don't quite know what to call it, but that type of context and blurring of the real world, the real moon, and bringing it in 3D, but delivering it not to a passive screen, but to an active mobile device.
What do you guys think about wearable computers? In 5 years, will the average person in Silicon Valley be wearing a computer? In 10 years, will we have implantable computers?
That technology is done.
Yeah.
The implantable computing is actually done. Research labs of technology companies that would go unnamed that have had that working for several years.
Skynet.
And
Yeah.
the real driver for a lot of these things going into sort of mass acceptance will be the demographic schism that's occurring right now between the young and the old. What you're going to find is, while you're going to talk about some of these very interesting things like implantable computing, and some of us will shudder and go, ooh, that sounds like it's Skynet, that new generation is going to be like, that's great. The other point you made when we were talking earlier about privacy, in our demographic, we're very big into privacy. And you look at some of the younger folks and they're more willing to share. Now, there's certain limits that they artificially impose, but they're much more willing to share and use technology in ways that we are probably not willing to do. Skynet stuff, yeah, will it come? Yeah, is it here? Yes. But will people be more accepting? Will more the younger generation be more accepting? I think so.
A lot of the privacy debate reduces into kind of poor communication and surprising surprises. Nobody likes surprises. A lot of the big tech companies you've seen that have had problems with this, it was just a miscommunication of expectations.
For Target, I don't know how many of you read this recent article that Target discovered that a teenage girl was pregnant before her parents did because of the purchases that she had made with her Target card. You know, was that a communication breakdown?
No, but I think it speaks to another thing that's going to become obsolete, which is a lack of intelligence. And intelligence means you can add intelligence to everything. Advertising is only advertising when it sort of, you notice it bothers you, it gets in your way. But the perfect ad kind of just feels like something you wanted anyway.
The privacy is strange because in the end, everything is about a trade. When you find, with sort of the imbuing of intelligence into every device around you, you can make yourself open, and then there is an exchange of value. And that's really what I think this privacy is going to come down to. A trade with incentive.